The Dabbleverse. I am not Patrick Melton. I won't be jerked around this way by drunk retards who have spent the past 2 years of their lives becoming drama queens and attempting to be the pretty princess of the ball, the cock of the walk of the gayest group of people that have ever existed in terms of this style of quote unquote comedy podcasting, the Dabbleverse. Well, that shit is nothing. It will be dead in a year, and you freaks will be the ones who have killed it. I said sure? I was going to kill the Dabbleverse. It's unnecessary. The losers trying to claw their way to the top of that totem pole will do all the work for me.
Are you sure?
It wasn't you. It was Redbar, like basically galvanizing the whole fucking thing.
Well, I'm just gonna ask: are you sure you're not just upset you didn't get an invitation to Hackam Mania because it seemed like all the cool kids were there?
I got an invitation.
Oh, did you really? I didn't know that.
Did you? Oh yeah. Here's Patrick Melton DM'd me and said, "I didn't know you had this thing with Dick Masterson. Do you want to do a bit for Hackam Mania?"
Did he really?
I said, I'm not. Huh. Yes, I'll show you the screenshot.
That's crazy.
I said I'm not coming to Las Vegas for that. I told him, like, really my shit with him is like 6-7 years old now, and I don't actually have hatred for Dick Masterson. This was months ago. I don't have hatred for Dick Masterson, so I'm good. He was like, well, you can do it if you want to like record something. I'll play it during the show. He literally gave me that opportunity, and I denied it. So when I said on my show the other day that I thought I was done with Dick Masterson, that's how you know I'm telling you. I had the opportunity to fuck with him at Hackam Mania, and I didn't even bother taking it because it just seemed like sour grapes to me. There was a guy who went there and said, is there anything I can do to, like, you know, do henchman shit at Hackam Mania? And I said, sure. And you know what I fucking told him to do? It wasn't fuck with Dick Masterson. It was print out Comedy Shaman flyers.
Yeah, meet at the blue wall.
Yeah, tell everybody, like, hand out Comedy Shaman. I thought that was funnier.
That was
and
funny.
would raise Shaman's profile. I had carte blanche to do whatever I wanted at Hackam Mania when it comes to messing with a goon of my an enemy of my show, and I didn't even bother taking it. So yes, has nothing to do with not getting an invite. I had an invite, free invite, could have done whatever. I see all this shit. Like, none of this shit escapes me. I just don't care about the Dabbleverse and these NLO freaks. I've realized, like, I feel bad for Patrick Melton because Patrick Melton does not have an audience.
No, he cultivated a dog shit audience of old O&A fans is what he did. They're not even the good ones. Not even the good ones.
He certainly saved his career after
Redbar.
It's not Redbar taking it from him. It's like really more him throwing it away.
No, it was. You're right. Because, like, I don't know if you listened to the episode where I went over the Segura and Burt. This was before I went to rehab, but there was an episode where I covered his history with Burt and Segura. And he was only like 25, 26. He was fucking young, man. And he had those guys on his show. And, like, he was so arrogant.
Bill Burr
yes.
He had tons of people.
Dude, but he was so arrogant back then. Like, he's definitely changed a lot. I think he's grown up a good bit, even though I've had beef. I'll give him that. I think he's grown up a lot since those days. But if you listen to the old tapes of him, like, when he had Burr and Bobby Kelly and fucking the girl, all these guys, he was arrogant back then. And like you said, he pissed it away. I mean, Redbar just cashed in on it, is all he did. He didn't steal people from him, really. Maybe a few, but not that many.
There wasn't. No, he didn't. The whole idea that he took audience from NLO is like fake.
Now
there's already a huge amount of crossover between the two because Redbar started covering a lot of Patrick Melton's topics, stealing from him, and then and they were friends, and so they would do crossover episodes.
Oh, they were like
but
best
the whole
friends.
idea that he stole his audience is like completely retarded because Patrick still had an audience after Redbar was making fun of him, and then he just stopped doing shows. That's all that happened. He just stopped, and maybe Redbar forced him to stop, but I'm pretty sure at one point he like moved to Australia and started doing a comedy show there.
I think it was Europe, right? But Yeah.
Well,
no,
he went
moved.
to Edinburgh for
Yep.
sure, but I'm almost positive he lived in Australia for like a year, and which I copied from him, and he just kind of threw it away, and then the fact that he came back and made it way bigger is impressive, but unfortunately he doesn't have a fan base. I guess there's technically an audience.
Well, you've just activated Honk the Clown
Oh, Honk's here.
in the chat.
Who's that?
He said he has no fans. Here's one. He says, dude says he doesn't pay attention to Dabbleverse, subscribes. It's populist, moron.
What? I don't even understand what that means.
I don't know either. I guess he's calling you out.
Who is Honk the Clown?
He's
That's
a
some shaman.
he's a Spurgtopia guy.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, okay, I didn't know that, so I guess point undone. Point is, Patrick Melton unfortunately has a gaggle of retards who are only there for the steel toe stuff and I guess, does he do Stuttering John?
He
does, right?
started recently. Yes, he's
That
really
must be easy.
he's leaning into that dabble grift, man.
So I guess that, and it's like, I mean, I look at it the same way I look at Dick Masterson. When Dick Masterson stops covering Maddox, he stops making money. When Patrick Melton is covering, like, I saw him cover, I can't remember the dude's name, but it was a nobody. It was just a nobody. It was like some random, it's like when I cover random retards like Mr. Burgers, most of the internet at large will not give a shit about that because it's not a name they know.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't care because I have managed to cultivate an audience who are willing to pay for Mr. Burger's content.
Yeah, well, that takes
Patrick
time.
Melton,
Yeah,
Patrick Melton like lives or dies off of.
No, you're
Steel
right
Toe's
about
next
that.
move.
Well, and I got to give Redbar credit here for a second on this note because, like you said, Patrick was built on a bubble. Redbar did cultivate an audience over time, man. And like, if you look at what he's doing now, he's just purely running off of momentum from the past. But he's still managed to keep a lot of that old fan base.
I disagree with that.
You disagree?
It's entire. Yeah, I think all of his.
He's still
fans
AstroTurf, but
all of his fans are from the past year and a half, and it's all because he's doing clickbait YouTube shit. I mean, that's all it is.
No, it
His
really
show
has changed a lot. Yeah,
His show is an 8-hour, let's see how much YouTube clickbait we can produce. The reason they don't have to upload anything to a YouTube channel is because it exists for clips. It wouldn't make there.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a YouTube channel that didn't have actual content? It only had clips.
Kino, and that's it.
Like, you know what I mean? Well, Kino, yeah. Well, there might be a reason for Kino Casino being similar to Redbar.
I know. They're kind of in that same vein. I see it.
Usually a YouTuber has their main channel where their content comes from, and then their clip channel where they clip the stuff from. But now everything is clips and everything is clickbait. So I disagree with that assessment. But Patrick is very lucky to have, the people watching him live like he's got.
Bro, he pulled 1,200 after the Ricada shit. Now, I think he's went back down, but still.
Just watch
if I was Aaron Imholt, I would be retarded, so I wouldn't do anything good or smart or funny ever. But if I was Aaron Imholt and I still somehow had my ideas, I would do no shows for a week and see what happens to Nobody Likes Onions.
Oh, that would be funny. That would be
It's
funny,
that simple.
But he can't afford it.
Like that's what people say about me and Mersh, but it's like, I haven't done a Mersh episode lately.
No, I'll defend you on that. You haven't done one in what, 2 months?
I don't even know now. It's not that I don't plan these things. It's just that Mersh is boring right now.
Well, yeah, when he does something, you'll do an episode. I get that.
But, and I don't do a daily show, and that's the other part.
Dude, the Daily Show thing kills these motherfuckers, man. And that's also what makes it hard to go back and listen to Stern and O&A, because they had to fill so much fucking time, dude, and the filler's just garbage.
They have to stream. Imagine.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
That's how they make the money, though. That's all those. When you live off of super chats, then doing it daily suddenly starts making sense.
Yep.
And then super chats start making sense because it's easier to fill the time. So at a certain point, though, every day filled with super chats, you don't have a show. You have the comments. You have a chat room, is what you have.
Yeah.
You are streaming a chat room for money. And great grift. I mean, that's crazy. I can't believe that works. But, I could never be happy doing that. I used to do super chats. I stopped. Like I had to say at a certain point, I don't want to read your super chats anymore because it's boring. Who's tuning in for what the audience has to say?
The paywall. Oh yeah, no, you're right. And Anthony.
And meanwhile, the people will say like, "Oh, it's annoying when I've got the Discord people on the show because they're not the funny ones." It's like, how do you sit there and read super chats?
Well, bro, they take pressure off, and like I've used the piranhas kind of the same way you have a few times. Because it's so fucking convenient to have somebody there to just take a little pressure off. Not a lot, but like enough to where you can kind of breathe and regather yourself just for a quick second. That actually makes a world of difference. People don't realize.
I like that it makes people angry. That's now why I do it.
Dude, I'm just saying as somebody that's kind of used that same function with my own chat where like I'm just saying the piranhas because they're a lot of the same people that came in. Dude, it makes doing shows a lot fucking easier. It makes, in my opinion, it makes them smoother. You can go longer. I think it's a nice little function you figured out there.
The real reason people who say that stuff say that is because they can't imagine a host liking them. These are all people from audiences or fan bases or whatever you want to call it, where the host hates them.
Oh,
I like the people who listen to my show, believe it or not. Like I actually enjoy talking to them and listening to what they have to say. Like Patrick Melton hates everybody who watches the show.
He really does.
Redbar hates everybody who buys his merch. Like I can't think of an example. I'm trying to come up with an example of a person whose audience doesn't hate them.
I think Kino's got a better. I will say, I think Kino's got a better relationship than the two you just mentioned.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. the people who like Kino Casino mostly seem to at least really like one of the two hosts, and it's not Andy.
You're right about that.
They all hate Andy, but Andy does not hate them. PPP does hate them, but they like PPP.
That's funny.
So their show is like an oddball one where it's sort of both at the same time. But there's a million other shows out. These aren't the only shows, folks. But yeah, most of these shows, most of these people that I hear this shit from are like fans of a show that hates them. I want to hear what people have to say, and I don't want to charge them money to do it.
No, well, I think, dude, one thing I think you've got down is the paywall method. Now, if like you said before, people want to give the super chat, but is a long-term revenue method. Like the conversation you had with Steel Toe. And Jesse, when you say this shit, like when you give advice to people, I listen very carefully. And I've noticed normally when you give advice, it's not trolling. You do your trolling, but you do actually give very good advice.
It's funnier to give good advice because they're not going to take it.
Well, dude, listen, what you told Aaron really resonated with me. And I picked this out and like I've kind of internalized it. Is you said the best thing he could do to make good money with his product is all he's got to do is make content that's worth a paywall and then put his weaker content behind the paywall, put the better shit out for free, and bam, you've got an entire paywall system right there, but he can't make that quality of content. And he knows it. I think he knows it deep down, which kind of...
No, he does.
He does.
He does. And by the way, I do kind of like Aaron.
Mm-hmm. Despite all the shit I do too.
I'm not fake with Aaron. Do too. Everybody likes telling Aaron like, "Oh, Jesse's going to snake you" and all this shit. It's like Aaron knows. When he invites me on, he knows I'm there to fuck around and to troll. He's not. I've talked to him in DMs. He's not retarded, and that's why he barely brings me on. By the way. But he'll bring me on when it might be advantageous to him, or he thinks it could fill some time or whatever. And I'm real with, like, I make fun of him to his face. He gets it, and he takes it better than any other goon ever. He's
a champ. He's a champ. Now,
He's the only person to ever correctly respond to a food delivery. Ever.
Bro, listen, even on top of that, like, I remember when you first raided my chat rooms, like when I was in Rumble and shit. Like, I panicked. I freaked the fuck out. He didn't freak out at all, dude. And like, I remember when like you started getting in there a little bit doing your thing, he didn't even really blink at it. Now, the farms kind of overran him a little bit just because he had so much attention on it. But for the most part, like you said, he handled it as well as anybody. That is one thing that makes Aaron interesting is he's just a tank. He can take damage.
He reminds me a lot of Maddox.
Hit the like button.
And be like, hey, yeah.
Okay, fuck you, Doom.
Goodbye. I'll do it like that show. Goodbye. Get